In this video, Sam is here and we're going to talk about the new Tome of Champions for Warcry.
And what a tome it is.
And what a tome.
A year late.
Well, okay, admittedly, it's a year late. Things have been a little different, you know.
Right, it's fine.
Yeah, it is. It's fine. One thing, though. First of all, I don't like the cover.
You don't like the magma spider?
Whatever that weird spider thing is, it's freaking me out. I don't dig it. So that's just me. I understand that. That's fine. Secondly, it's been a while since we've done a video together.
It has been a while.
Yeah. So that's been good. I'm glad that we're able to do this. And so we're going to talk about some Warcry stuff, but we're going to start with this Tome of Champions because it's about to, when this comes out, it's going to be coming out like the next day or so, I think. So yeah.
We've gone pretty deep on the Warcry, so yeah.
You and I, yeah, we've been playing a decent amount of it. So
I'm glad we have this in our hands.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. For me, the most important part of that whole thing, honestly, is the ability to add the Warhammer Underworlds models into Warcry. There was a lot of people that were like, hey, this is cool, but I don't know, or that kind of thing and everything. So I think it was important for people to finally kind of get access to it because it just, I don't know. As a modeler, it's very cool. I wonder how it's going to be in competitive play, though. I have a suspicion that tournaments will probably be like, yeah, you can't, because you're just adding so many more weird things. And admittedly, they made up stats, but still, I mean.
It's a lot to know.
Yeah.
And I think the appeal of Warcry is that it's, I don't know, if you're already invested in Age of Sigmar or now Warhammer Underworlds, it's kind of this gateway game where it's like, hey, you can just, this stuff is already done, you can put it on the table and apply this other rule set.
Well, they already did that with the Underworlds models. You could already just drop into into Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
But they had to go in as a unit. Like they were basically their own unit, right? This, you can grab like a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and that's, I think, very cool. Strangely enough, I have a lot.
Got many boxes. Here, let me help.
Yeah.
Here.
There's a lot of them, and so, I'm looking forward to some of them. There we go. And I've been buying these, by the way. This is these all have a sticker on them. Like the Zarbags Gits, I'm going to definitely build something for my wife with that because she likes those guys. Spikeclaw Swarm, I'm working on Skaven right now on Twitch.
Yeah.
So like I could grab a couple of guys from this. Godsworn Hunt, I could throw some of these in with my Slaves to Darkness that I did on Twitch earlier, end of last year. And then Crimson Court, like I think I just want to make a group that's just Crimson Court and the Sepulchral Guard.
Yeah, vampires and skeletons.
Yeah, I think that honestly they could probably just do the job.
Which would fall under Soulblight Gravelords?
Yeah, that's their like. So you can't mix and match, like take like some of these guys and then some of these Rippa's Snarlfangs or whatever. But you can easily, like, because these two groups are part of that, the Soulblight Gravelords, you could throw some of these in there. Plus, you could use the other models that came in Cursed City, because they've got Cursed City stats now for that. I mean, there's just a lot you could do, and I think that that's very cool. I'm very interested in going down that road because I have a couple of models.
I see that. Yeah. It's always good to have more options.
The thing is that these boxes, at least when I bought them, I don't know what the retail is now, but these boxes are $30 generally, right? How many like single figure like Primaris lieutenants out there are there that are 35?
Better, yeah, or more.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Right.
So it's just one of those situations where I think that being able to pick up a box of those things, even if you're not into Underworlds, and we used to play Underworlds too back before Warcry.
It's a good game. I could not keep up.
No, yeah, exactly.
The cards.
Yeah, that was the big deal, and that's one of the things that I like about Warcry. What do you see yourself looking at any of those? Do you have any of these boxes or anything like that?
I do.
Yeah.
But the stuff that I have, I don't know. Like I have the Iron Skulls boys painted them like the Ed Bang, as I like sculpted beards and hair on all the orcs and gave them yellow skin. I've got the Steel Hearts, the first Stormcast
Yeah, the original
gang.
was Steelheart something or other. Yeah.
Steel Hearts Champions.
They're in there
I think.
too, yeah.
Yeah, and I made them into Doomcast Immortals.
Nice.
So I've got like evil Stormcast, but I'm not going to go that direction because the Stormcasts are too expensive. You can't
Right.
get it done in this game with 4 or 5 models on the table.
So yeah, when you're saying expensive, you don't mean that the box. You're just meaning that like 'cause
points.
my Stormcast Eternal list that I built and painted on Twitch was 5 models. And when you sometimes have 4 objectives you need to take, that becomes real difficult.
They're great every time they look at something, they kill it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, still you're going to lose. You need a heavy amount of bodies in the game. So you know, before we go too far down that rabbit hole,
Right.
I don't know what I'll add to it. I also really like a lot of the gangs. Like I painted up the Dark Oath Savagers.
Right. Yep. The ones that came in Red Harvest.
They performed okay for me.
You've slapped me around several times with them already.
I have my complaints. But yeah, I mean, if I can just pull, like, you can buy individual figures for your list, you know, points wise. So, and I also like, so I could throw one dude in there, but I also like that you can bring these updated sculpts into play. Like with the Lizard Men, you know, some of the models in that range are a little old.
Same with Skaven. Like the Spike Claw guys are way better, or newer sculpts at least. You know, better is maybe a subjective term, but they're definitely like. And same, you're right, exactly. With Seraphon, like they're just newer, updated sculpts that you can bring and put into your list if you want to, and then they just look a lot nicer. You know?
Yeah, and you could always have been proxying them the whole time, of course.
Yeah,
but it's cool to have rules. The guy's got 2 Wolverine claws, and it's reflected in the in his cards.
Well, that's the thing too, is that again in the stats that they've got in here, they've got everything set up so that they do have differences, and they're not the same types of models. They're not just like a copy paste of the stuff that was already in one of the Grand Alliance books. And also they've got now 2 special rules. So like for every section, when you open it up, there are special rules in there that are just specifically for those guys, because they follow along with the little icons and all the little junk that they love to do in Warcry that kind of drives me a little nuts. The icons are a little, but so the benefit is, like, I know for I think it's the vampire guy, like if you bring the vampire leader along and you bring some of the other vampire characters from the Crimson Court, he's got a special ability, which is maybe only a double. Maybe it was a triple. It was one of the 2 that basically makes it so that they take less damage as long as they're within 6 inches of him, like for the whole next turn and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I haven't been able to read this except for like 20 minutes before we were shooting this, but I saw some things that were cool.
Yeah. So that kind of stuff I think is going to be really interesting, and it's going to be something that, and we discussed this a little bit earlier as well, it'll be interesting to see what happens down the road a little bit with Warcry. Yeah, because as I've been saying for quite some time, I have a suspicion that this summer, 2022, we're going to see a new edition of Warcry.
And I think no.
Okay, all right. So why is that? What do you think? What do you think, they're just going to like not update?
It's fine the way it is, and maybe I'm thinking.
I agree, it is fine the way it is.
Maybe
I don't want them to update, by the way. I don't want them.
Okay, good.
No. I don't want them to update. I just assume that they're going to, because it's been 3 years since launch.
I might be being a little too logical for this. You never know with Games Workshop, they pull weird moves.
Yeah.
But they have already expanded this. Like, it is so vast, and especially now.
Well, yeah, because you've got the 4 Grand Alliance books, Death, Destruction, Chaos, and Order. Now you have this new Tome of Champions for 2021, which we didn't get till 2022, but
time has no meaning.
Exactly, it's a flat circle. But I don't know. And the thing is like I said earlier too, you were like, oh, but they just came out with Red Harvest, and I'm like, I know.
That's your new edition. Those are my thoughts.
But Pariah Nexus came out in early 2021, and then in summer of 2021, they released an entirely new, very different version of Kill Team.
Point Adam.
Well, so I don't know. And I've said this a bunch on other streams and things like that. The only reason I think that they might not launch it this summer is if they wait till fall or maybe the next year. And again, it's because of the global manufacturing shipping shenanigans. That's the only reason I can think why they wouldn't do it. But I have a strong suspicion because they seem to be on a 3-year cycle on pretty much everything. Now, the trick is hopefully they don't change it too much. But if they don't change it, then why bother making a new version?
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, what would they change about it? Are you just going to change all the stats? Maybe fix Caradron overlords?
They are
a little bit.
Broken.
There are some lists that are crazy powerful.
I have one of these boxes for them too at home, and I didn't even bring it because I'm like, after the list you built, I was like, no, I don't even. They're way too overpowered with all that shit.
Yeah, if you want to win with them, take 3 Aethermatic volley cannons.
Yeah.
Or guns or whatever. Yeah. There you go.
There you go.
Just reach out. Like, range destroys in this game.
And done. Yeah. No, range is super important in this game, but we'll get to that in another video. But yeah, so I got to be honest, I don't want them to do it. I don't want them to make like a new version and all that kind of stuff. I really don't. But I would be a little surprised if they don't. Like I said, I think the only reason they don't make a new version this year is because of shipping, manufacturing, all that crap. And then they maybe push it to the next year. But yeah, I don't know, man.
All right. I'll bet you $5 that they don't make a new
American
version of Warcry. We just get another box.
I would be absolutely glad to pay that $5. I really would. I really don't want them to make a new version right now, especially because there's all this stuff, like between the 4 different books and this, and then the Red Harvest and all that.
But then you have the Pariah Nexus factor.
I know.
It's a good point.
Maybe they learned from that. It's possible.
We all learned. Yeah,
we learned. Yeah, no, that's a good point. So, yeah, I mean, and there's a lot other stuff in here besides, obviously, just the Warhammer Underworld stuff. There's tons of narrative stuff. What was the other thing that you were just showing me?
What was it? Hidden agendas?
Right, yeah.
This deck of like 12 extra hidden objectives.
Yeah.
Which is cool in this game because sometimes you get Warcried, as we like to say, where it's like, okay, what's your list? What's the deployment? The scenario? You win, but I guess we can roll some dice.
Right, yeah, no, that's, if you follow along by doing the normal, like, here's this card and the twist card and the deploy card and all that stuff, there are times once you get everything all nailed down and you know when groups come in and when they're, all that kind of stuff, you can, like, before the game even starts, you can just be like, well, I'm going to win, or, well, you're going to win, because it's just, like, there's times when you're like, oh, okay, well, there's one objective, well, or if there's 4 objectives and I have 5 models, that's going to be a tough one, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the way it works.
Right, like, but, okay, I don't come in until round 2, my movement rate is this, I can't get to point B in time in a game that's on average 3 rounds.
Right, that's the thing, too. Some of them are 4 rounds, but a lot of them are 3. So, again, in that situation, and that's what we've referred to it as getting Warcry. But the game's not about sitting down for 2.5 hours and then losing. It's about playing for maybe, in those types of games, half an hour and then losing. But then you do another one, and you kind of, because that's the idea. You're supposed to be playing it, and we haven't gotten into that too far yet, but we do want to start doing like actual narrative type things and campaigns, and that's really where this game, I think, shines, frankly.
I know, that's the goal.
Yeah. But let's be perfectly honest. I think it also shines in the fact that it's 22 by 30, that it's, you can use as much terrain as you want. We've gotten to the point now where we're not using the terrain card anymore that says set it up like this. We just put a bunch of cool stuff in there because it looks cooler. But I think that it's important to I don't know. I'm really glad to see this book come out for Warcry because I was a little concerned that Warcry was sort of, Red Harvest came out and everything, but this is going to add so much more than even Red Harvest does, because that just added 2 more factions.
Oh, and you got lava pit rules too.
Yeah, sure, you got some extra terrain rules and new terrain, but the fact that now there are, what do you think? How many new models are now all of a sudden available because of this book? 60? 70?
Yeah,
way more
right.
than that.
You got all the Cursed City stuff.
Well, yeah, but that stuff was already available on the web. That stuff was available.
Oh, yeah. So, but like those Warhammer community articles are now in here too.
Yeah, they're in here too. So if you like for Cruel Boys, Lumineth, there was that other
new Stormcast chamber.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name.
Yeah. So all that stuff's in there too, which I think is cool. And it really, I think, this book, I think, will help to really reinvigorate things, and we'll see how the rest of 2022 goes, and then hopefully hopefully I'll be giving you $5, frankly.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Maybe we'll get another General's Handbook or Tome of Champions.
Yeah, we could get a 2022 one. Like maybe they'll put that out in July. Probably not, but that'd be very cool. So I don't know, like we're cautiously optimistic about Warcry and this book, especially if you have a bunch of stuff for Warhammer Underworlds, or you've been eyeing up some of the Warhammer Underworlds warbands, which are really reasonably priced, but you're like, I don't play that game. Now you've got a cool reason to drop some of those really cool models into your army list.
Just thinking about it now, the Goblin Wolf Riders would be really fun to mess, and they've got to have a high mobility.
Yeah.
Like,
you get 3 goblins riding on wolves and the whole deal, and I want to mix some of these guys with some of the
those are cool.
The Zarbag's Gits, and then I could do some work with that. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, I suppose I couldn't put them in with my orcs.
No,
the Iron Skull boys.
But they definitely would be part of the other guys. So that'd be pretty cool too. But yeah, so I mean, if you've been thinking about Warcry, this is maybe something to look at getting into. If you've been playing Warcry and you kind of stopped, and now you're like, well, this would also, I think, not be a bad plan moving into in the future. And like I said, I think it comes out tomorrow. Well, when this shows up on who knows when you're seeing
this.
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah, time. So, I don't know, man. It's good to have you here. And
I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely.
Hey, everybody.
Absolutely. And we're going to do some more of this too, I think.
We live in the same city now, so that's cool.
Yes, absolutely. So, I think we're going to maybe make another video.
Yeah. I'm always down to talk about Warcry. I've been doing a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. New Tome of Champions.
Yeah. So if you're interested, you might want to take a look at it, especially, like I said, if you dig those Warhammer Underworlds models, or if you already have a whole bunch of them, you're already set to go. You can just drop them into your Warcry stuff and go from there.
Yeah.